Let's take a quick look at the Noticings and Wonderings tool. The Noticings and Wonderings tool is intended for a short or perhaps even a longer visit in a classroom. It is for you to walk in and simply provide the teacher with feedback on things that you notice, whether those are environmental or instructional, and things that you wonder, again, about the lesson in front of you, or perhaps student behavior, or perhaps environmental text on the walls. As you walk into the classroom, you of course will select your teacher, and that's going to propagate the email, and then select where the students are. In Noticings and Wonderings, the students perhaps were engaged in direct instruction, working in small groups, or let's say today they're working independently, and they're at their desks. And what are they engaged in? Reading and writing, mathematics, perhaps science or social studies. And finally, what do you notice about the classroom? Perhaps your noticing might be something about the instructional moment that is happening, something that's on the overhead, or something that a student is referring to on the wall. That might lead you to a question about an instructional decision, a question about a student management decision. But either way, that question can be asked here. One thing I always stress to my teachers is that Noticings and Wonderings is not about questioning the reason behind your choices, but rather it's about, as a third party walking into a classroom, I noticed this and it made me wonder about that. This is about being reflective. Now, the Noticings and Wonderings, like all of our tools, can be customized, and I can do that by clicking on the wrench here when I'm inside the tool, or by clicking the configuration button from the main menu. If I click on the wrench, it's going to bring me to my Noticings and Wonderings configuration page, and the first thing that I can configure is the introduction email that will be sent with this. I can also customize the 4 items that the students were doing. They were working independently, they were working in small groups, they were engaged in direct instruction, and the location that they were at. Located at their desks, on the carpet, or throughout the room. Perhaps you're in a high school and on the carpet doesn't make sense. Maybe in the computer lab would make more sense, or working independently in the library might make more sense. And so those can be changed. Then finally, the subjects that were observed: reading, writing, literacy. Again, at your school you might not have an art offering, but you might have something that isn't listed here, and you most certainly can change that and list that here. Remember that on the customization pages, each box often has an info box, and the info box is going to tell you a little bit about the object that can be customized, the field, as well as any limitations that that field may have. For example, in the students were field, each descriptor must be its own line, and you can only have 3 in the list. Okay. If I click back, I will get back to my Noticings and Wonderings tool, where I can finish up my walkthrough and send this before I leave the classroom.